So yes, this is a re-upload of my... I'm sorry, black licorice. So yes, this is a re-upload of my second episode of My Personal Heaven and Hell. At the time of recording this, I just finished editing and published the third episode, and I did a little bit of digging and I realized how I can make this episode, available to you all. So it is edited slightly, but overall is the exact same video. To any people who've seen the original, you may notice it. It's very subtle though. But without further ado, here it is.
Wait, hold on. Where am I? Come on, someone tell me, where am I?
That's not how to use a door, am I right? So, let me think. Where am I? I mean, it looks familiar, but... Wait a minute. The hell? What the Jonah? What the f are you doing? Is this Monster Musume, dude? What the f... Bro, I get transported to some random ass dimension, all I see you is watching fucking Monster Musume. Get out!
Now for a transition that I wish was better.
I'm a fucking homosexual.
Howdy folks, welcome to my second episode of My Personal Heaven and Hell. So I did explain that by the end of my Uzuki-chan video that I was going to do Mario-chan and Mario-chan R, but then I realized, well, there's one anime that I really want to talk about more than Mario-chan and Mario-chan R. There's just one anime that I really want to talk about. It's a little anime, you might have heard of it, it's called Konosuba. As much as I would love to talk about it by myself, and I really could. I kind of wanted to bring in two of my really good friends in to talk about it because they love Konosuba as much as I do. So the first friend I want to bring in, alright, he's a speedrunner and he plays extreme amount of Super Mario 3D World. Come on in, Ezra, come on. This is XX Ezra B XXX. I really never understood what the third X was for. What does that stand for?
Anything you can think of. I just created it like 5 years ago.
I know what it is. It stands for Explosion! For our next guy, he's Ezra's brother, and he's also a Joe Burger fanatic, and for some reason he believes that Iramanga Sensei is better than Overlord. Come on out, Jonah, wherever he is. What the hell? Oh my gosh. We got the boys here. Now let's talk about probably the funniest anime I've ever seen, Konosuba. What's the first thing that comes to both of your all's mind about Konosuba? Explain it. Shut the fuck up.
The first notable thing is how Kazuma actually dies.
A tractor can't go that fast, so it would have stopped before it hit her.
Whoa, hold it, back up a sec.
What is it?
That was a tractor?
Yes, a little red one.
But then how'd I die? I mean, did I get run over by it or something?
Oh no, you died of shock. Apparently you thought it was a truck.
It's probably one of the stupidest things I've ever seen.
Like just in the first episode of how he actually legitimately dies?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's the stupidest
Well, actually,
thing.
I think it's one of the funniest things about the show, because usually with stereotypical isekai, some bland generic character gets run over by a truck. Well, in this one, it's a lot funnier, because he doesn't really get run over, he dies from shock, which I always found to be extremely funny just in the show itself. So what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about Konosuba?
Mostly how Aqua's crying for money constantly. When somebody brings up Konosuba, I always, first thing that comes to my mind is Aqua crying.
Aqua crying. It's funny, there's 6 minutes of footage of just her crying, did you know that? There's an entire compilation of it and I've watched it 5 times. Yes, it's great background noise whenever I'm writing music. It's like, I need a little bit of inspiration. Hey babe, can you please turn on the Aqua crying compilation? I really, yes, I love those sweet ass. But for me personally, the first thing I always think of is legitimately the main cast. Because I think it's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite selection of main characters in any anime I've ever watched. I just love how much of an asshole all 4 of them are. Darkness, Kazuma, Aqua, and Megumi, all 4 of them are they're jerks. They're horrible to, if they're in the real world, they'd be horrible to hang out with. Seriously, I couldn't imagine myself hanging out with any one of them. Could you?
Maybe Kazuma.
No.
Nah, I don't know about
Well,
that.
the thing is, he's kind of freaking.
It's just that these people are assholes.
Yeah, all 4 of them are just assholes. They're dickheads.
It's I don't know, they don't even get along half the time, but they manage to make
Well,
it work
here's
somehow.
I think I've said this to you before, Ezra, but I think the reason why I like all 4 of them is because they're kind of like your favorite group of friends. they're all of them are assholes, but they're your favorite group of assholes, and that's why you love them.
Yeah, you had mentioned that to me before. It's like, yeah, we're all assholes to each other all the time.
Yeah.
We do it
It's
because
fun.
it's fun.
It's funny.
It just makes it the overall more entertaining. The thing is that they are actually having issues though. But they managed to get through that.
Well, yeah, well, they always get, like, it's just any anime, they always have issues that they have to
That's
get
just
through.
fictional shows.
Yeah, it's just fictional shows, and, like, it doesn't take away from it at all, it's just something
It's just
that's
what
bound to
happens.
happen. It's just pretty much what's bound to happen. But I've always been a fan of all 4 character tropes that they have, because they're not really tropes that you see in anime. For example, like, I've always been a fan of Darkness's character, even though she's not my favorite character in the show. I've always been a fan because of how she's like this very, like, she says, at first you think she's a noble knight who wants to protect everyone around her, when in reality, like, she's just a sadist who loves pain. That's it.
Rough, uncouth men are looking at my bare skin and getting aroused. It's shameful. Filthy. Glorious!
She's getting off on it.
Yeah, she's just a huge masochist, and I've always found that extremely funny.
It's like you never meet these kinds of people in
Yeah.
real life.
No, you don't. I mean, they may exist, but you never really meet them, and that's probably why it's just hilarious.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole purpose of fiction.
Yeah,
though.
but I'm not like she's not the only character. Like, of course, Kazuma. Like, you know, usually main characters, like in these kinds of stories, are very bland. They don't have a lot of character to them, and they don't really do a lot, and they're overpowered. Kazuma is just a dickhead who does what he wants. He said many times that he will drop kick a woman.
I believe everyone's equal, ladies and dudes. So I don't have a problem throwing down on a couple of girls if they're asking for it. Right now, you're asking for it.
I think it's really funny, and it makes me a little very hard. I don't know if he's my favorite main character of all time, but he's for sure one.
Nah, the thing about this is that, I mean, he can sometimes be reasonable, although...
Oh, he's an anti-hero.
Yeah, he's like...
Yeah.
He can be reasonable sometimes, but he's one person who definitely is going to always get his point across no matter how he does it.
Yeah. And that's probably why I like him, just because of how bold he is.
He is not scared to tell you.
Yeah, you would not.
How it's going on.
Yeah,
He's a man of culture.
No.
What do you mean he's a man
He
of
drop
culture?
kick a woman.
He would drop kick. No, he's just based. That's not being a man of
It's
culture.
just
You're
based.
just being based.
That's just being based.
Well, being based is a good thing.
It can be a bad thing. Depends on the situation.
I mean, I guess we can decide, pretty much just dissect every character at this point. So, you know, Aqua, she's apparently this all-powerful goddess who can perform miracles, but she's the most useless character in the entire show.
She doesn't do shit.
It's the funniest thing ever. Yeah, she doesn't really do that much.
Doesn't do crap.
Yeah, well, except for the time she purified the lake.
Before the Gators, Aqua just sat there thinking her goddessy butt was enough to purify the lake. She was being more proactive now.
Purification! 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 Purification!
Which is funny.
Also, like, her entire cult around her is pretty stupid.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
well that's the
crazy
point.
people.
Yeah, they're funny. They're Redditors. All of them just spent too much time on r/Konosuba feed pics. Yeah, we're back a little bit, even though you guys don't know it, because, you know, we were just talking about the Axis Church. You know, we went out to eat, and also I'm wearing a hoodie, and for some reason he's wearing shoes. We love to keep talking about the characters. We love talking about how Aqua has the Axis Church, but another character that everyone loves, it's all three, I know it's my favorite character, I know it's Ezra's favorite character, and I think maybe your favorite character in the entire show. It's gotta be Megumin and her...
Explosion!
Baba Booey.
I'll be honest, I don't know why she's my favorite, I'll be honest, but I guess I just like her just because of how much of a brat she is and how she has an extremely, quote, overpowered move that she can only use once a day, and that's the only thing she can use. She can't use anything else, and all she can do is just a really big explosion that may or may not work. The funniest thing about it to me, because it's like, well, you have a really powerful ability, but can't
I think
use it.
one thing to point out is right at the beginning when you meet her, she's wearing this like stupid eye patch, which is kind of scary.
She's like,
This is no eye patch, but a magic item which suppresses my powers. I dare not ever remove it. For if I did, a great catastrophe would befall this world.
You're kidding. So it's like a seal?
No, it's just an eye patch. I, wear it because it looks neat.
which do? She said, explosion. but then nothing happened.
Wakanawa Megami.
Didn't that happen in the movie? He just got absorbed into a freaking gun.
Yeah, but that something happened though. I mean, like she said.
Oh well, yeah, the gun.
Like there was this huge buildup, but then nothing happened. Well, how'd that make you feel?
Kind of underwhelming. Just like taken aback. Like.
And speaking of the movie, we might as well talk about it and how amazing it is. Because I also watched the movie over my 1 month, and I don't want to make an entire separate video on it, so I'm just gonna put it in with Konosuba just together. Because I mean, it's the same series, so I might as well.
It's all the same. We're gonna talk about everything.
It's all the same. I mean, it's pretty much just Konosuba. And I love the movie. It's one of my favorite anime movie of all time. It's just as good as pretty much any episode of Konosuba. Which I might want to add this part. I know it's a little off topic, but. To me at least, it's hard to find an episode in Konosuba that did not make me laugh, or still doesn't make me laugh. Just because that's probably just shows how well the anime is written. Just because if you have an anime where every episode makes you laugh while watching it, you might got something. Like you probably,
Like the whole thing is just satirical, and I like how they did that.
Yeah, I like how much satire is in it, and just how funny it is, and just in general. But back to the movie, it's amazing in my opinion. It's easy 9 out of 10. I mean,
yes. I mean, I gave it an 8.
No, you gave it a 7.
Oh.
Check your mind most seriously.
I didn't
my homework
rewrite
before
that because that might not have been inaccurate.
Listen, it was really good. It was really funny, and
now that I think about it, it's kind of an 8. Yeah.
Well, the thing about the movie for me personally is that I think one of my favorite parts about it isn't even the humor. I think I just really like the chemistry between Megumin and Kazuma. I still laugh. I still go very hard every single time Kazuma circles around Megumin in her room.
Yes.
He's doing his thinking pose while going in circle and circle. It would make me laugh very hard, Ezra. How does it make you feel?
When I was first watching that scene, I was like crying. I was laughing.
Crying? No, it wasn't that funny. Now the scene
the
scene that got me though was the part where he did this.
Good morning. I'm feeling so good now.
Now that really got me laugh. Because I don't know what's funnier, how someone took time out of the day to animate his hands or Megumin's reaction, because that's one of the funniest faces I've ever seen, just drawn on paper.
Yeah, it's extremely.
That was in the first moment. Yeah, it's an extremely based moment of Kazuma assaulting a woman. One thing also and I think I said it, but this is actually not just for the movie. Pretty much anything kind of super related. I really love the animation style. It's one of my favorite things about the entire anime, because I just love how the expressions are drawn and how weird. Like I just like the animation just in general. Like whenever Kazuma's like fidgeting with his hands, it's just whenever he's talking about how he's gonna steal some underwear from these women.
Can you consider that lucky?
What do you mean?
Like your luck is so high to where whenever you do steal, it takes their underwear.
That maybe not to the average man,
yeah.
But to Kazuma, that for sure is lucky. You saw his reaction whenever he stole Chris's underwear.
That's like
you see the sense of euphoria he had in his eyes.
He won the lottery.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And I like that scene too, because Chris reveals that in order to get her underwear, Cosmo pretty much blackmailed her. He was like,
I said I'd give him back his koi pouch, but he said that wasn't enough. I had to pay to get my panties back. He forced me to decide what my panties were worth.
No, stop talking! I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what happened, but still!
Yeah, to me. And I find it funny how he uses steel again on Megumin, and it also.
Uh-oh.
Hey babe, what's this? What would you do if you wrote, what would you do if an English dub in that exact same voice that said, hey babe, what's this? Hey babe.
Now I haven't watched the dub.
You have to watch the dub, it's hilarious.
Would you please let me suck it out?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about Union.
Union? I like Union.
She's an okay character.
Where is her tattoo?
Shut up. Stop mentioning Union's tattoo. My sister Squid, she really hates Union for some reason. I think because her reasoning was she's just you know,
I thought she was okay. They didn't really give her a lot of screen time, so they, I don't really know if, like, for how much she was just shown, I think she was an okay character.
I thought she was interesting. I liked her, and I found her shtick very funny. That she's a girl that no one in the anime likes, but she always wants to challenge her only friend who treats her horribly. She always wants to do a competition with Megumi to show that she's much more powerful than her. The first competition I think of where something like that is the fucking rock paper scissors scene.
In
the OVA.
Time!
Bro, Ezra, solve this.
ほう、向かってくるのか。逃げずにこのディオに近づいてくるのか。
近づかなきゃてめえをぶちのめせないんでな。
ほうほう。では十分近づくがよい。
Anyway, so while Ezra is gonna be having a conniption fit trying to solve this, let's talk about one of my favorite things in the entire anime. Not only just the animation style of the characters, but how just the villains. At first they seem like generic villains. Who's your favorite general, in your opinion? Who's your favorite general? Do you like Hans?
The one in the movie.
Sylvia?
Yeah.
You know, he's an interesting one. Bro, how you doing?
Yep.
I'm struggling.
If I had to choose a favorite, Sylvia would be one of them, but I also really like Veneer. I almost said Fafnir. He's like this guy who he just likes to fuck with everyone, and that's why I love him.
Is Liz technically a general?
She was. She's not an enemy, but she was a general one.
She was a general, but she didn't do anything. Talked about her very big personality.
Yeah, I really love Wiz's huge personality. How are you doing? Did you got one side?
Yeah, I just can't do the algorithm.
I think every single villain, maybe with the exception of the slime monster, are very. I like them. Because like I don't know what's the guy what's the slime monster's name? What's his name again? Because I can never remember. It's not forgettable. Like obviously I remember what he did, like what it does and his main goal is. But I don't really know like. He's just not as interesting in my opinion as like Hans or as Veneer or as any of the cool ones.
Screw this.
Oh, you're not gonna solve it?
Ezra has given up.
Something you would want to. How about we just say a very general question? What is one thing you love about Konosuba that obviously that we haven't discussed before?
I mean, obviously, like, I can't really think of much specific that we haven't really discussed too much yet. I can't really think of anything specific. I just like the show mostly because it's just really entertaining.
Yeah, I think it's very entertaining just as an overall show, just not even because of the comedy. I think just the overall show by itself and how entertaining it is. Yeah, because it has a very good. It has a very you could argue it has a very generic premise. It's still very interesting in my opinion. That's the same question to you. What is one of your favorite just things generally about the anime?
Their personalities mostly, because they're all douchebags, but they're all different kinds of douchebag.
Well, I think we already talked about this.
Yeah, we already did
detail.
talk about it.
But yeah, you can just re-say it again because it's good.
Just bring it up.
Yeah.
Bring it a W.
Talking too much about how much we love the anime and glorifying it. Let's talk about the things that maybe we're not so fond of about it. Personally, me, I find it hard to find anything. There are a few things though. Like sometimes it becomes a little too much. Like the characters become a little too much, in my personal opinion. Like there's a few scenes that are a tad bit, just cringe-worthy. I don't know if cringe is the right word, but it kind of makes you feel a little unsettled. But that's how I see it. I think that does give the anime charm, though, just having those kinds of scenes.
Now, one moment I found somewhat unsettling, the situation
is
with...
Is it the succubus episode?
Yeah.
That's a really good episode, in my opinion, but there's a few moments there it's like, And that's pretty much like one of the only problems I do see with the overall anime. Just there's those weird moments where it's just sort of cringe-worthy. How about you?
I think the most cringe-worthy moment for me was when Darkness was using her very big personality to wash Cosmo's back.
Don't forget you still gotta dry me off without a towel.
Oh, rape! I think we've gone on long enough about how much we've been frothing out of the mouth talking about Konosuba. How about we give our final thoughts? Let's start with you, Jonah. What's your final thoughts about Konosuba?
It's a overall 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, whatever you want. There's some scenes that, maybe not very... It's kind of hard to watch, that's what I'm trying to say. But overall, I think the characters are really funny, very douchebaggy, if that's a word. But overall,
that's just because the anime charms.
It's very easy to watch.
Yes.
Most of the time, and it's very funny.
How about you?
I think I gave the whole thing an 8 total. And that's mostly just because it's something I found kind of entertaining. The characters were good. I mean, basically, we have a main cast of just completely based characters. Mostly funny. And I just like how they went out with it. I just like how it went.
And personally, me and my feelings about it, I think it's overall one of the best anime I've ever seen in my entire life. Personally, it's probably one of the only anime where I can recommend it to anyone, because I don't think there's really people out there who wouldn't, I don't think there's really anyone out there who I really wouldn't recommend it to. I think if you can understand the show, whatsoever, and you can find it funny, and find that kind of humor funny, I would recommend it to literally everyone. And it's in my opinion, it's a really good gateway anime into actually just watching anime in general. So it can be your first anime and be like, oh, maybe I want to watch this or this. It's just one of those anime that, like I said, I just recommend anyone. It's really good. I think it's well written. I think one of the best cast of characters ever, and just overall I think it's an amazing anime. I should link these two troglodytes' channel in the description, and I hope you all have a very based day like Cosma.
Also, as a little Marvel post-credit scene here is here's an outtake that we had while recording.
Now, what about you?
Yeah, what about you?
Oh my god! I got a friend with me.
Oh, actually, do not cut this out. Do not cut
Wait
this
a
out.
minute. Is that a fake turtle or?
That is a real turtle.
Oh my gosh, that is okay.
We have a turtle.
What do we do? Name it something different.
How did you find it?
Oh, we just found it.
Yeah, let me hold it. Hold on.
What are we going to name the turtle?